Hello all. Today we are going to discuss part 2 of verb forms. However, in part 1 we had a in detail discussed about how verb is classified in under three categories: main verb, auxiliary, transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, so that we had discussed, and if you have not seen the video, I have given that in description link, or you can also refer to the videos of my channel, so you'll get there. So here we are moving to the next concept, in detail discussion of all these concepts. Now main verb, we are going to primarily focus on main verb in today's class, okay, in today's video. Okay, fine. So main verb, see, main verb is actually a word that shows you the action. Okay, what is main verb? Main verb is actually a word that shows you the action. Now, just in this video, just try to learn the difference between main verb and auxiliary. Main verb shows you the action, whereas auxiliary shows you the time. Some of the pronunciation for auxiliary is auxiliary. In Western pronunciation, it is called auxiliary, whereas in Indian pronunciation, especially in South, we use as auxiliaries. Okay, so whatever may be the pronunciation, however the accent may be, yes, accent is very important, of course, but still auxiliaries, okay, or auxiliaries as you may call it, is also known as helping verb. Now we have categorized the verb into three segments, that is main verb, auxiliaries and transitive and intransitive verbs. Now transitive verbs and intransitive verbs are basically used in active and passive forms. Especially we use that in active and passive forms. Those verbs which can be transfers those verb which transfers its work from active to passive is called transitive, and those which does not transfer its work from active to passive is called intransitive verbs. Remember, all the sentences cannot be converted into active to passive. Okay, so you have to remember this. I write a letter, this can be transferred. I write a letter, this can be transferred. A letter is written by me. Now this is called intransitive, this is called transitive verb. Whereas God created light. Okay, God is light. Okay, light is God. That cannot be done, isn't it? But though it is done also, it is not a passive form. Okay, so those kind of sentences is called God said let there be light. Can you convert this sentence? No. So this sentence is called intransitive sentence. Can you convert that into passive form? Definitely no, isn't it? So those kind of sentences are called intransitive verbs. So I hope you know now you are under a firm opinion of what the main verb is, what the auxiliary is, and what the transitive and intransitive verb is all about. So we had discussed this in our previous class. Now we'll be moving on to the main verb in present video. In this video we'll be discussing about the main verb. See, main verb is actually action oriented. Fine. What is an action? Action, as you can see some of the images here, these images are some of the images that are representing the action being performed by some person. The action being performed by some person at some level of time. So, the time and action is a crucial factor for the verb, for the verb in a sentence. So, verb is basically action oriented and time oriented, but noun is name oriented, pronoun is dependent on noun, whereas verb is action oriented and time oriented. So in parts of speech, the basic and primary function of a verb is to show the action. So if you have seen the parts of speech video, if you have not seen that, better see that. That will give you an idea. But here, along with the pictorial representation, I am trying to show you, I am making you things easier so that you get the concept very clearly in your mind, so that the foundation will be very strong. Based on this foundation, we'll be discussing some other concepts regarding this content. Fine. Now, walk is a word. Walk is a word, but the image is showing you the action. Okay. So, this picture is making us things very clear what it is all about. Now, the verb in a sentence is basically action oriented, and when there are no auxiliaries at all. Remember, verb has a second form, isn't it? That is auxiliary. When there are no auxiliaries at all, at that level, the main verb takes the function or performs the function of both auxiliary and main verb. That is, time and action is being performed by main verb alone at that time, at that sequence. That when is that being performed, or when that is usually performed? Usually it is performed in simple present tense or simple past tense. Fine. In simple present tense or simple past tense. So, simple present tense, okay, simple present tense is always represented as MV1. Simple present tense is always represented as MV1. But for your convenience, I have put it as present tense form. Let us make things easier. Let us not complicate things, isn't it? So, present tense form. Next, the second column, simple past tense, I have put under the column as past tense form or MV2. M means main, V means verb, 1 is the first column. Next, main verb 2 is the past tense column. Okay. Main verb 3 is the past participle column. Now, there are 3 columns under main verb. Okay, there are 3 columns under main verb. They are MV1, MV2 and MV3. MV1, MV2 and MV3. Now, what is MV1, MV2 and MV3? Let us discuss this in detail. Okay. Now, MV1 is, see, I have taken one example. These are called list of verbs. What is this called? List of verbs. Some of the examples of list of verbs are, see, I have taken one random example. I have taken the example of water being poured under a glass. Now, somebody is drinking this water. Okay, somebody is drinking this water. Now, if someone is drinking this water, how is the action being performed? The word itself is showing. If you remember my sentence, I had used drinking word, ing form word. Now that is present participle that I will be talking to you later on. However, the water being poured under a glass, somebody has taken that water and he or she is drinking that. Okay. Now the word drink represents a unique feature of being action being done at certain level by a person at certain stage. Now that action is given or labeled under present tense form, or it is called as drink. It is labeled as drink. Just it's a label. Okay, just to identify the tense forms, we categorize it into 3 different form. Okay, labels. They are, first label is drink. See the image, someone is drinking, isn't it? Now I have used, in order to make you understand, I have used drinking word. However, now I have typed as drink, isn't it? Now the word drink itself is showing you the action. I hope things are very clear now. Now somebody has already drank the water. What is the word that I have used? Drank. Okay. So someone has already drank the water. Now the water, that person is not drinking, isn't it? Already he or she has drunk. Okay. Now the person is holding the water in their hand. Suppose somebody is asking, have you drank the water? That person will reply, yes, I drank the water. No, I drank the water. He won't tell, I drink the water. If he is telling, I drink the water, what will be the expression? Okay, now that person is drinking the water. Okay, usually that person drinks the water. That is the concept. Okay. Now, drank is the word. That word itself is showing you that this is past tense. That person has already performed this work. Okay. Now, drunk. Now, when we have past tense, why do we require past participle? This is the usual question of the students. Okay, some of the students have asked me, Miss, when we have past tense, why do we require past participle? See, past tense, see, these three are different categories. Okay, these three are different columns, but it is having the basic root of one unique word. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. See, water or milk or some liquid that you are drinking as a juice, that process is considered under action. Now that process is labeled as three different unique columns. Okay, when you see that column or when you see that word itself, that time sequence flashes in our mind. So that is very important. See, if I tell arise, the sun arises at the east. The sun arose in the east. The sun has arisen in the east. Vivek arises in the morning. Vivek arose in the morning. Vivek has arisen in the morning. Remember, past participle is a word that is common for present tense, past tense and future tense. Usually we do not club present tense and past tense, isn't it? But suppose immediately something has occurred or immediate past tense, if we have to put, what example are we going to take? If we take arose, it is the past tense. If we take arise, it is present tense. Then under what circumstances are we going to show that something has just occurred? Now that is past participle form. Just occurred or just yesterday occurred or just tomorrow it will occur. All these time sequences are shown by past participle form. Past tense is different, past participle is different. Past tense has a unique feature, past participle has unique feature. I hope things are clear. Present tense, past tense and past participle form. Past participle is required for present perfect, past perfect, future perfect. Now when we are going to discuss the tense forms, I will be telling you in detail why we require present participle, past participle, why we require present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. For that, why we require past participle forms. For all the three tense forms, we require past participle. Past participle is a bridge. Past participle is a bridge between two words to connect the meaning of a sentence. To connect a meaning of a sentence. It is a bridge. It is a bridge of action being performed. Okay. But whether we are using it in present tense, past tense and future, now that depends on the narrator or that depends on the speaker, how he is using a sentence. Now I hope dear viewers this concept is quite clear. We are talking about the main verb. Main verb is basically the action. There are certain actions here, images that are showing you the action like walk, run, ride, sit, stand, okay, fight, laugh, read. All these things are certain action. All the things are category. Name any action, it is a verb. It is a main verb. Okay. Now that main verb will definitely be categorized under 3 columns for the convenience of time. For the convenience of time classification. Now the first time classification is MV1, that is present tense form. The second time classification is MV2, that is past tense form. The third time classification is MV3, that is past participle form. There are certain other examples I have taken. See, sing is present tense form, sang is the past tense form, sung is the past participle form. I think the images are making your things quite clear. Sing is, see, someone is singing here. Okay, someone is so immersed in the act of singing that that person has forgotten her own self, isn't it? Now, sing, the word itself is showing you certain action being labeled. Now, this mic is symbolic, isn't it? Mic is symbolic for something, singing or speaking. Okay, mic can also be used for speaking. Suppose you are using a word, you remove this word sing, you put here speak. Now the present tense form will be speak, spoke, spoken. Fine. Here the word has been labeled as sing for the convenience of action. Now this action is labeled as sing. Someone has already sang a song, it is called sang. Somebody has already finished singing just now, that is called has sung. Yesterday had sung, tomorrow will have sung. Okay, sing, sang, sung. One more example with images I have taken for your convenience. Write, wrote, written. Somebody writes, we tell as write. See the image is making the point quite clear. Now this image has been labeled as write. Okay, somebody has already finished writing. Now he is not writing at present. Now what is the image showing you? Somebody has wrote that. Somebody has written everything. Okay, has just finished writing. What will be that? Has written. Okay, just finished. When we come to the tense forms, I'll be telling you. Okay, fine. So written is the word itself showing that yes, the action is being performed. The action has just occurred. Write, wrote, written. Okay, write, wrote, written. Okay, next. These are some of the examples of MV1, MV2, MV3, present tense, past tense and past participle. There is a fourth column as well. See, the fourth column is called present participle, which I have not included. Why I have not included is, see, if you just use MV1 plus ing, it becomes present participle. That means arise, arising, awake, awaking, arose, arosing. Okay, like that. So if you are using a word ing form for MV1, it is called present participle. Usually it is called MV4, or you can use as MV1 plus ing form in the formulas. So okay, so I hope these things are quite clear. MV4 is always used for continuous forms, continuous, present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, and present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, okay, and future perfect continuous. Wherever the word continuous comes, it is called ing form. But remember, you are always supposed to use the ing form for MV1, not for MV2 and MV3. So you have to pay those attention. See, in maths, if you learn tables till 10, you can multiply as many numbers as you can. Similarly, if you learn MV1, you can you can frame MV4 automatically, because MV1 plus ing is nothing but MV4, that is arise, arising, okay, awake, awaking. So similar to that. Okay, name any word, sing, singing, write, writing, like that. Okay, so I hope these concepts are quite clear. If you have any sorts of doubts regarding main verb, you can ask me. See, these are not the only main verb. There are so many main verbs that okay, that can be listed under certain I have taken some of the examples based on the chronological sequences. However, I'll be posting those main verb for you, or I'll be preparing a separate video for you based on that list of verbs separately. But here list of verbs, I hope main verb is quite clear for you. See, okay, so if there are any doubts, you can just clarify those doubts. If you don't have any doubts, if you understood the concept, you can also okay comment that your feedback, how the class was all about. Thank you. It was nice teaching you all about the main verb. Have a nice time. Take care. Bye.